So you put a few hours into Warframe and you find yourself asking a question like, how does the UI work? And I get it's a little confusing. So today we're going to go ahead and sit down and break apart the UI and what all of those tools mean. And we're going to do that in 4 separate parts. Basically, each corner of the screen is got some form of UI to it, and the options menu has some form of UI to it. So what we're going to do is we are going to basically break all of it down. That way you have the best chance at being able to understand how Warframe's UI system works. Let's get started. We're going to do everything for the most part right here in the navigations menu. Basically, the menu is going to give us access to pretty much everything other than the specific tabs that are in options. So let's start up here in the upper left. If you look over here, you can see where my cursor is here. There's a few options. So the first is going to show you your profile, which gives you all of your various stats, item levels for each item on your character, your master, come back here, your mastery rank. If you're on PlayStation or Xbox or Windows, you'll see that tab right there. The next tab here gives you a few options. If you can see the little icons next to them, the solo, invite only, friends only, public. I don't really need to break those down, I don't think, but just for a quick overview, you can play by yourself, you invite people, friends can join you, and then open lobbies. And then this little plus icon allows you to, as it says, invite a squad member. So if you have friends on a friends list, you can use this in order to make sure that you can invite them to the squad. So the upper right portion, see this here where the little icon is? There is a number of things you can get into here, and we're going to break apart some of these because as you get further into the game, you'll notice various parts of these things creep up. So if you don't have all of these at the very beginning, don't worry, you will unlock them. But let's break them apart for you. First, you have the quest screen, which is right here. Basically, as you earn quests in the game, they will pop up right here, allowing you to choose which ones you can follow as an active quest, and then those will pop up right here. So you can click that and it will actually launch your quest's next mission. This little icon shows you, the one right here, shows you if you have items ready to claim in the foundry. If you have an active sale or they have an active sale, it shows right there. This one is your alerts tab. This shows various things like arbitrations. You won't have access to that until later. Clem missions, which you get access to early on. Maru's Bazaar, same thing. And then the Siphon missions, Nightmare missions, and if DE puts anything specific up, like Gift of the Lotus, those are all going to be in here as well. You can scroll down through here and you'll see what missions are available. More on Siphons and Nightmare missions a little later. But yeah, right here is where all of those alerts are. And as you notice, your Warframe's head will follow your mouse cursor. It's a little funny. Next is your invasions tab. More on what invasions actually are later, but right here is the invasions in a nutshell. You can choose one, and depending on what side you choose, you will earn a reward. So in this case, 3 Feldron, 3 Detonite Injectors, or Feldron masses, stuff like that. If you hover over it, it'll tell you what it'll give you. I really should focus more on this sometimes. The next tab is going to be syndicates. Again, more on syndicates later, but basically all syndicate missions are right here. If you pledge to a syndicate, anything that is in their mission tab will pop up right here. And then the last one we're going to look at is Void Fishers. This houses where any of your void missions are, so it makes it a little easier for you to click and just go straight into a mission, as opposed to having to search the whole star chart in order to make sure that you find the mission you're looking for. So you down here, you have, I can't get my zoom to work. That works. So down here you have resource drones, change loadout, and zoom out. These are really, this one specifically is useless. The resource drones, we're gonna do a whole video on those because those are super useful. Same with loadouts, but this is where you can kind of, let me zoom it out and show you. You can go in and change a loadout from here. You can pick up a resource drone by clicking this. It brings up a whole new tab. Basically, this is probably going to be your least used side of the UI. And then, of course, you have nightmare missions as Nightmare progresses, or Nightwave, not my Nightmare, Nightwave. As it progresses, you'll be able to access this menu and figure out what missions you need to do in order to gain more standing. So that's the right side. Now let's look at the left side. So as you see down here, there is a text box. You can access that by pressing T, like so. And for some reason it wouldn't go back out. Escape gets you out. T will get you in if you're on keyboard. On controller, I believe it is left trigger. So that's what I thought. I had to pick up a controller to make sure. So there are a few tabs down here. Let's start at the left. You have your squad text chat. That's for anybody in your squad, the 4-man squad. You have your clan chat. More on that in another video. But if you're in a clan or dojo, all of your chat goes right there. Then you have your alliance chat, which is basically a build between a number of clans. QA, which you can ask a question there, but it tends to go so fast you're gonna miss it. Not completely unusable, but I don't like it. Not a fan at all, to be brutally honest. And then recruiting is your looking for game chat, which can be useful if people are looking specifically for hunting certain items or waves or resources. You can kind of enter that here. And then last is trade chat. This one right here is the one I think you're gonna want to use the most, because this, as you can see here, trade chat is invaluable, especially if you're looking to get into the trade game. You can use the filters and stuff. That way you can look for something specific. If you're on like console, you can actively filter by certain words. People are looking to sell parts all the time in here, and it allows for you to kind of search through if you're not looking for anything specific maybe, but if you're like, I'd like a Haro Prime Systems, boom, want to buy. WTS, want to sell trash ribbons. Basically, this is just running all the time. It's a great resource, especially if you're on console, because console doesn't have access efficiently to a third-party trade website which we may do a video on that third-party trade website at a different date. The last part of the UI I really want to dig into is the escape or options menu. This allows a lot of things to be streamlined if you don't feel like wandering around the ship or anything like that. You can access everything from this menu. First off, you have navigation, equipment, operator. Let's kind of skim over that. Market allows for you to buy stuff within the Warframe marketplace for plat. Communications, basically clan invites, inbox, friends. You click that, you can see that there. Quest does the exact same thing, takes you to your codex. And then Railjack will take you to your Railjack. Calls Garrison, you'll earn that later in game, but this gives you an option to fast travel. Here's a way to look at your profile, leaders boards, glyphs, log out of the game should you want to if you have other accounts. Option settings, there's a lot of stuff in here. Most people are going to know what they want to change if they want to change something. But if you don't and whatnot, stick to the default stuff. Warframe's pretty optimized, so I would definitely not change any of the settings. But this is where you access all that. And really, it doesn't change a whole lot by doing it here. It just makes it a little easier to access. So you have all of this that adds up to the UI. And honestly, while not the most confusing thing in Warframe, it is definitely one of the more, let's just say, lack of explained things in Warframe. And that's frustrating to some people because when you hit the escape key and there's all this shit that pops up, I can understand why some people are like, what? What do you do? What does all this mean? Well, here you go. That is a breakdown of all the stuff that exists in the Warframe HUD, or at least all the stuff that you're going to need early on. Just remember, if you have any issues like that, you can kind of work your way through it or drop a comment here on. So that's gonna wrap this particular video. The UI, like I said, not super complicated, but I really thought it was a video that needed a breakdown. So the people who were looking at it and were like, hey, I'm interested in what this does, what that does, where I can go. I was really wanted to break this down for people. If you guys like these tutorials, you like what we're doing, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. That way you guys are always notified when new Warframe videos come out. We are doing these twice a week, and we're going to do some shorts and other stuff along the way. We also have a Discord, the Asylum. You can check that out. The link is in the description below. And come be a member of the Warframe community. Would love to have you there. Until the next time that you take a trip amongst the stars in the solar system, I am the Madman telling you, be safe, little Tinno, because you may eventually run into somebody that might want to eat you.